Highly spiritual empaths follow a different route in their quest for self-awareness and a sense of connectedness to the outside world. These people, who have a strong spiritual connection and are very sensitive to the feelings of others, frequently face difficult obstacles that help them grow as people. These facts encompass the life-changing experience of spiritual empaths seeking balance in an emotionally charged world, from the challenges of handling excessive sensitivity to the skill of setting appropriate boundaries. The following 8 unpleasant realities are what highly spiritual empaths will face and eventually overcome. 8. The challenge of accepting impermanence. Because life is always unpredictable, the transience of existence can cause discomfort and contradict the empath's longing for enduring relationships. Because empaths prefer to create strong attachments, this can result in internal struggles against the transient nature of human relationships and feelings of fear of loss. But as these empaths travel through spirituality, they gradually realize that impermanence is a necessary part of life and not something to be feared. Empaths come to recognize the beauty in impermanence via mindfulness exercises, self-reflection, and a growing comprehension of spiritual concepts. They learn that they can experience great release and a greater appreciation for the present moment by acknowledging the fleeting nature of relationships and experiences. Their spiritual development has reached a major turning point when they go from fighting change to gracefully and wisely accepting life's ups and downs. Highly spiritual empaths eventually learn to deal with the difficulties of impermanence, but they also develop a strong sense of resilience and the ability to find happiness and purpose in the always shifting fabric of life. 7. Burnout on a spiritual level. Due to their intensive interaction with the energy and emotions around them, highly spiritual empaths frequently struggle with the difficult issue of spiritual fatigue. They may devote a great deal of energy to assisting others, promoting social justice, and pursuing profound spiritual insights as a result of their strong sense of empathy and dedication to spiritual development. On the other hand, their relentless devotion could unintentionally lead to emotional tiredness and depletion in their quest for a higher consciousness. Spiritual empaths could overlook their own health and unintentionally sacrifice self-care in favor of pursuing their spiritual goals. It becomes more difficult to break free from the emotional upheaval they experience in their spiritual pursuits because of their sensitive nature. But establishing limits and making the necessary transition to self-compassion are essential to healing spiritual exhaustion. Empaths set out on a transforming journey toward resilience and a long-lasting spiritual practice, as they learn to recognize the symptoms of tiredness and strike a balance between their humanitarian tendencies and the need for self-replenishment. Highly spiritual empaths not only avoid burnout, but also realize that true spiritual growth entails balancing the pursuit of enlightenment with the care of one's own spiritual and emotional well-being. They achieve this by practicing mindfulness, taking deliberate breaks, and reevaluating their priorities. 6. Making self-love difficult. Despite being a source of strength, empaths' caring nature can poisonously get in the way of someone's quest for self-love. Because of their acute emotional sensitivity, empaths may devote so much of their time to helping and comprehending others that they overlook their own needs. The challenge is in escaping the vicious cycle of looking to other people for approval and basing one's value on their acceptance. Empaths must undergo an internal transformation in order to understand and honor their own needs, desires, and goals with the same compassion they freely give to others. This is the route to self-love. It takes a journey of self-acceptance, self-discovery, and healthy boundary setting to overcome this issue and enable empaths to save their energy for self-nurturance. Highly spiritual empaths gradually peel back the layers of self-neglect through reflection and a dedication to personal development, emerging with self-love and a more sustainable and balanced attitude to their empathic skills. 5. Making idealized connections. Because they can tune into the feelings and energies of others, spiritual empaths may recognize and pursue meaningful relationships that align with their spiritual principles. This tendency toward idealization, though, might lead to disappointment when reality doesn't live up to these high standards. Empaths often have an almost utopian vision for their relationships and emotionally invest in them, expecting a degree of spiritual understanding and connection that may be unattainable. Their challenge is to balance their intense desire for meaningful connections with the knowledge that human relationships are flawed. In order to get past this obstacle, empaths discover that genuine connections between ideals and reality frequently flourish when they learn to find beauty in the ordinary and the imperfect. Highly spiritual empaths gently loosen the hold of idealization via self-awareness, communication, and an openness to the intricacies of human interactions, enabling the growth of more meaningful and authentic connections. As empaths learn to walk the fine line between recognizing the wonderfully imperfect nature of human interactions and satiating their need for connection, this evolution marks a significant turning point in their spiritual journey. 4. The fear of letting people down. Although empaths are driven by a strong desire to comfort and encourage others, they may also be overcome by a crippling fear of not living up to expectations. Their natural ability to detect and comprehend the emotions of others around them is the source of this dread, which heightens their sense of need to uphold peace and attend to the needs of others. The challenge is living in a state of chronic anxiety caused by the fear that they might not measure up to the high expectations that they believe others have of them. But the first step in conquering this fear is acknowledging that one's value comes from more than just being able to live up to expectations from others. Highly spiritual empaths will learn to manage the delicate balance between their empathetic tendencies and the need to maintain their well-being by practicing self-compassion, setting reasonable boundaries, and accepting their limitations. As they embrace a better, more genuine connection with themselves and those around them, empaths overcome the crippling dread of disappointing others. This transforming process represents a critical turning point in their spiritual progress. 3. Attracting negativity with you. Strongly spiritual empaths frequently discover that because of their keen perception and strong bond with the energy surrounding them, they are magnets for negativity. They can take in and internalize the feelings and hardships of others because to their heightened awareness, which exposes them to being burdened by the negativity around them. Emotional weariness and a sense of being overwhelmed can result from their ongoing exposure to the struggles and hardships of individuals around them. But highly spiritual empaths have an innate tenacity that helps them eventually get past this obstacle in their journey. These empaths gain a profound grasp of energy dynamics, spiritual practices, and mindfulness to help them build a wall of protection around themselves. They become adept at differentiating between feelings they are experiencing and those they have taken in from other people, which cultivates a self-awareness that enables them to let go of undeserved negativity. It takes self-care, limits, and the development of spiritual practices that support emotional purification and energetic shielding to overcome the attraction to negativity. 2. Taking in other people's feelings. It is an innate trait that may be both a blessing and a hardship to absorb other people's emotions. They are able to connect intimately with the emotional landscapes of others due to their heightened sensitivity, experiencing the highs and lows with an intensity that may be quite overwhelming. This emotional absorption can cause fatigue, burnout, and a loss of identity as they traverse the wide range of human experiences. A highly spiritual empath's path, however, entails a process of self-awareness and empowerment. By developing energetic boundaries, these empaths gradually learn to walk the tightrope between empathy and self-preservation. It takes strong boundaries, consistent self-care, and the ability to purge and release negative energy for these empaths to overcome the difficulty of taking on other people's emotions. Highly spiritual empaths can eventually turn the struggle into a source of compassionate wisdom and empowerment by learning to embrace the positive aspects of their sensitivity while retaining a strong sense of self through time, spiritual growth, and a deeper understanding of their empathic abilities. 1. Extremely sensitive. Empaths are more likely to sense the emotional undercurrents of both people and the collective because of their increased responsiveness to energies, emotions, and the subtleties of the environment around them. Because of their increased sensitivity, they may experience an overwhelming amount of information, which makes it difficult for them to go about their regular lives without being constantly stimulated by the outside world. The challenge is to keep their hearts open while safeguarding their mental and emotional health. On the other hand, a highly spiritual empath's journey involves ongoing personal development and exploration. In order to get over this, they progressively discover ways to turn the difficulties posed by extreme sensitivity into assets. These empaths frequently learn coping mechanisms to help them ground themselves, set appropriate limits, and choose which energies are worthwhile absorbing. Empaths must go through a process of self-mastery to learn how to harness their intuitive abilities, without letting the intensity of their perceptions overwhelm them in order to overcome the challenge of overwhelming sensitivity. Highly empathic people weave these hard realities into the rich tapestry of their spiritual journey with fortitude and transformational development. They gradually untangle the intricacies of extreme sensitivity, the fear of disappointing people, and the difficulties of accepting impermanence by self-awareness, mindfulness, and a dedication to personal improvement. These empaths develop through time, learning how to establish limits, cultivate self-love, and see the beauty in relationships' flaws. Their internal transformation is sparked by the fight and results in a more harmonious and balanced state. Therefore, when extremely spiritual empaths proceed on their road, it's impossible not to wonder what fresh avenues for comprehension and connection they'll find, and how these realizations will influence the next chapters of their remarkable spiritual journey.